leaders are going to have to speak human if they're going to be successful in an age of high volume, low impact communication. What did you mean by that? What were you alluding to?
Thanks for quoting me back to myself.
It's good, isn't it?
I say that's always good. Yeah, we've got an overload of information in this world. I think we've probably all noticed that information is cheaply available. Anything that we want to know, we can literally just whack it into ChatGPT, and we've got reams of information again and again and again, just, without end. It's been many years since the internet has become beyond the capacity of any one of us to read it, to take in all of that information. So if we've got all the information we could possibly need, it becomes much less useful than it used to be. And even now you see people coming out with their books. I did the same some years ago. Do people read them? My husband still hasn't completely finished my book. And, you'd expect people who are close to us to take in all of that information with great interest. It turns out maybe not. So if our nearest and dearest struggle to absorb the messaging that we're putting out into the world, what does that mean for those who aren't that interested in us and are focusing on their own things? It means that we need to become way more skillful at cutting through the noise. And how are we going to do that? If ChatGPT and other tools are able to be very skillful in terms of pulling out information and even condensing it down, it's the human beings who need to bring meaning, make that live, make it alive, make it relevant for others. So that's what I mean by being human, by speaking human, that we need to translate information and data to people to make it relevant to them, to make it meaningful to them, so that we're not just swimming in a sea of information, but that information is relevant and important and listened to. So that's what I mean.
Yeah, because that is really a pitfall, isn't it, of ChatGPT and AI? And we talk to our clients about that. It's like, look, some of them aren't familiar with it and actually are only starting to use it. And so they're still in this is amazing, let me type this in. That playful stage we were all at the beginning of ChatGPT. Then it just produces reams and reams and reams of stuff, and we're sort of slightly blown away by it all. It's just taking over the place, I think. I know that you're working on a new project in this. Are you willing to tell us a little bit about that and where your thinking is starting to go? So I know you're working on it and you're in the middle of it. You haven't launched it yet, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reaction that we have to ChatGPT are just, bang on, that we look at it and it's exciting and it feels substantial. And then have you noticed that you look at it again and it feels very thin? And the closer you look into it, the less meaningful it becomes. And it struck me, I had the pleasure of experiencing some Oxford exec education in November last year. And there was a moment that struck me where this amazing expert was standing in front of some of the great business leaders of the world. And he brought a visual that he had put through AI. It was AI generated. And the immediate reaction to that visual was, wow, it was some kind of wave of people that looked like a flood, an overload, a tidal wave of people. And you thought, wow, what an incredible image. And then you moved on to the next thing. That wow lasted about half a second. And then obviously I thought about it because I'm talking about it with you now. But in terms of quality of craftsmanship, it was only as useful to me as the amount of attention that I put into it, which was very, very little. So it becomes really not worth that much. So to the question around what are we doing with our clients? Yeah, we're really working to help them in that sea of information, to help them to cut down and articulate and talk, say fewer words, but have much greater meaning in those words.